Hi, Entropians. It's me, Mikhail. And I am out hunting for an event that, of course, I was late for because it's early Saturday morning for me. And apparently, it starts earlier than what is early for me. But I'm out here having fun on the land of Oz, which, yeah, I think that's all it says. I don't even remember what land area it used to be. Doesn't really matter. So I'm out here uh, hunting Neconus and Merps and Atrax and the occasional Fungoid, which has been a lot of fun. And I'm sitting here in my disco with dragon scale plates, which apparently actually come from a snake mob. Like, I'm a little confused about that. And I really don't want to know because we all know how I feel about snakes unless they're attached to, like Channing Tatum. We all know how I feel. So, anyway, I figured while I was mindlessly grinding these mobs, and I would show you these. Oh yeah, serpent scale, I guess it is called. Ugh. But it gives good protection, and the fungoids were what was kicking my ass as far as me needing to fap a lot back when I first started this. So anyway, I'm out here. I'm hoping to get a global. The loot has not been good to me yesterday or today because I missed a couple of days. I was off planet, stocking my shop, went to Rectropia hunting, picked up a few auction things on Rectropia, and then I came back to Calypso, and oh my, has the loot changed for me. Oof. Like, I don't even know what I could equate it to. I mean, it just is bad. But exciting that I sold another set of firewall. I sold a green set this time, so I'm super excited about that, which means that my 11-day ad is paying off. And so, other than that, let's see, what else have I been doing? Oh, this past weekend, we did a bar hopping hayride. This is something I do. I throw really good parties at my house. Usually, if I try to do them other places, it doesn't work out as well. I don't know why, but if I have a party at my house where I have control of the food and the campfire and the music and the whatever, it really turns out well. So, my children are now grown, and my daughter, she's still here because of the corona. She's a recent college university graduate. And she was like, let's have a bar hopping hayride. And I'm like, okay, haven't done one of those in a while. It'll be fun. So I threw an event out on Facebook and we invited a whole bunch of people because, of course, you always have to invite. It's kind of like a wedding. You have to invite triple the amount you actually want to show up. And so we ended up with 16 people on the wagon. And it was raining that morning and it was cold because this is Wisconsin. You never know. You bring your bathing suit and your winter parka with you everywhere you go. And that morning, I had my dad show up with the tractor. He's going to pull us with his tractor. He walks in, raincoat on, glasses fogged up. He looks at me, he's like, "Are you nuts? It's miserable out there." Because we were supposed to leave my house at 11 a.m. or at noon. Everyone was supposed to be here at 11 a.m. so they could load up the wagon, put their blankets on the hay bales. So you have a blanket to sit on, a blanket to cover up with, you load up your cooler, and then you go. And it was raining and miserable. And I'm like, well, just hold off. Like, worst case scenario, whoever shows up for the hayride, we just hang out here maybe, or, whatever. Let's just see. Well, the wonder of Facebook, right? So I just go out there and I go, I'm going to postpone this until 2 p.m. So you need to be here at 1:30 to load up your shit, and we'll leave here at 2 and we'll go bar hopping because it's supposed to be done raining by then. Well, it did. It quit raining. It turned out to be a beautiful fall day here in Wisconsin. So we all got on the hay wagon and we went bar hopping. So we had drinks on the wagon, and every bar we stopped at, we were drinking. And it's a very Wisconsin thing to do. Okay? I mean, we know we're all, the whole rest of the world views us as drunks, and that's okay by us. We know it, we own it, we love it. It's just, it's our culture here, right? So we weren't even to the first bar, and my son and his friend are wasted. They were shotgunning beers, which, if you don't know what that means, you just need to Google it. They were, they hadn't eaten. I mean, he shows up at my house at, noon, 1 o'clock, whatever time, and he's like, because that was the whole thing. Okay, hayride, and then when we get back, we'll be back by a certain time, and then I have chili and spiced apple cider, and we're gonna have a fire, and it's gonna be very fall and wonderful. Well, my son is like, okay, is the chili ready? Can I eat it? I'm like, no, the chicken is still raw in the white chicken chili, and the red chili isn't even heated through. Like, I pre-cooked the ground beef, but no, you can't just dive into my chili now. That's for after. And he's like, what? And I'm like, didn't you read the invite? He's like, no. And I'm like, you know, I always feed supper. I do not feed lunch to the masses. So he's like, well, fine, I'm just going to start drinking. Well, okay, so an hour and 15 minutes later, he is completely shit faced, belligerent, like in a fight with my friend's college friend. This girl, I mean, they're probably going to end up married someday because they were just bitching at each other. I'm like, wow, you guys almost are married already. And so, anyway, I mean, we were already well on our way having a great time. And the first bar is about 15 minutes up the road. So it didn't take long. By the time we got to the second bar, which was probably a half an hour on the tractor or on the hay wagon, to the next bar, and then, because this is like 5 or 6 miles cross country, and we're taking back roads to avoid traffic. And I mean, I just couldn't believe how drunk everyone was getting. And we're all shooting pool at the next bar. And then I had some friends who were in a vehicle that didn't want to do the hayride but wanted to come with us. So they met us there with their car. And then they followed us to the next place, which was another half an hour hayride. And by the time we got there, we did a pit stop along the way to go to a corn. We stopped. The tractor was having an issue, so we pulled over, and there happened to be a cornfield there. So there were a handful of people that got off and went and took a tinkle in the corn, and my husband was one of them. And so they come back out of the cornfield, and there's a couple of them that got a piece of field corn in their hand. And that is normally sold for feed for cows. So they picked this piece of gross field corn that normally you'd never eat as a human. And my one of the guys on the wagon proceeds to start eating it. And he's chomping it up, chomp, 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 and he opens his mouth and like, look at me, I'm eating this corn, and I'm like, ugh, why would you do that? And then he like spit it all over me. He just, I mean, it was like dry pieces. It wasn't all saliva-y or nothing. It was like powdery chunks, but they're flying all over the place. I don't know. There was so much shenanigans going on. I I really didn't understand it, but then we got back and it was great. It was so much fun. We got home. Spiced apple cider was a big hit, and we sprinkled a little bourbon in it. It was delicious. Some people were using Captain. Some people I might be married to were using way too much Captain. And so yeah, by 10 o'clock at night, everyone's everyone who's left, which I mean, there was only a handful of us at that point because the kids all sobered up after they ate and they went to the bars in town. And then it was just me and a handful of adults. And so we are sitting around and we're like, well, okay, we're sitting around the fire. It's great. We're having so much fun. And then it started to rain. And this was like 7:30 at night, right? It's dark at this point, but it's still not late. And it started to rain, so we moved inside. There was four of us, and everybody sat down on the couch and I started cleaning up the kitchen because that's what I do when I'm buzzed. I want to clean. I mean, you want my house clean? Get me drunk first. And I may or may not put on a French maid outfit for you. But they were all passed out by like 10:30 at night. Yeah, I mean, early night for us, and it was a success. Everybody had a great time. The tractor survived. The chili was gone. The apple cider was gone. Like, I mean, I made enough to feed 40 people, and like 12 people ate it all. Shows you how drunk we were. Oh God, we had a lot of fun though. So, those are the kind of things I do for fun. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm losing ped, throwing ped away on events like this, which I just had. I mean, I'd have to look back. I mean, that's another reason why I'm recording this. I'd have to look back, but I think I got like a 25 ped loot and I'm in fifth place. And the deal with these events is you have to place first, second, or third to get money. And we can see that it's set to highest single loot. So the event, the game tracks who gets what loot and whoever loots the highest, and it can be 12 ped and win this thing. It really just depends on the loot. I mean, I've already gotten a 200 ped global out here and still lost the event. But if you get the highest single loot during this time frame, this up until 1700, then they will pay you 500 ped for first place, 50 ped for second place, and 50 ped for third place. And everyone else gets nothing except the loot that they got and skill. And that's something that I think people forget about. Like they come out here and they blow 200 ped or more. I mean, I try to limit myself to 200 ped plus whatever shrapnel I cycle. Um, but there are people who come out here and be like, I lost 2,000 ped. And it's like, okay, I don't know what you're doing wrong, but this event should not cost you 2,000 ped. I think this all in my head, of course. I try not to say it out loud because I don't want to be rude. Um, but yeah, and then they're in like 15th place and they're pissed because they didn't win 50 ped. I'm like, there's more problems. You've got more going on. If you can come out here and blow even 500 ped on an event and be pissed because you didn't win 50 ped or something, like, no, there's more going on in your life. I don't know. You might need counseling. Oh shit! And then I wasn't paying attention. I probably should have fat myself. Oh well. That's the other fun thing about this. So it takes us up to the revive. It gives me a death location, which I can mark on my map. So now I pull up my map, and look, that's where I died. It's a fun little waypoint. So I just take a moment to heal myself. That's what I get for talking. When I haven't had, I mean, I've had 3 sips of coffee so far. I need a lot more than that. And I just saw green sparkles. Did I level up in something? Oh, lots of things. Pyrokinetic hit. Decoy dispenser. Hooray! Any skill is good skill, right? And that's the other thing I should talk about, right? So forever, I've been sitting on all kinds of pills and stuffs, right? Like little buff enhancers and whatever. I was always going to sell them, but I always feel I can't tell how much how much you'll get for pills. So I get a little nervous about that. So I don't sell them because I feel like I'm going to screw up the markup on them. So I decided I'm just going to eat them myself. So I also have a ring on, which I always have my rings on. There's regeneration by 25% and health by 10 points, and then run speed by 8%. Those are the two that I normally wear. So then you go down to what I'm actually consuming today, and I'm burning through my Halloween candy box from Halloween Mayhem like 5 years ago or something, like a long time ago. They've been sitting in my storage, taking up space. I decided I'm using them when I'm out at these events. So I've been eating those. And I ate a 10% for 1 hour skill boost. And I ate a regeneration and health and stuff for 30 minutes. And that stacks on my rings. And then this one is a 5 minute boost, and then my candy cane is 10 minutes. And of course, my loot pills, you definitely want those. They're cheap. You buy them from the TT terminal. You eat one every hour, and then you just kill things, and it automatically picks up the loot for you, saves you a few clicks. So that's what I got going on. So, my current buffs, I have my ring and other things stacked on the increased health. I have my regen, my run speed. Here's my critical chance. I got 15 minutes left on it. Skill gain is 15 minutes, and then my loot pill 38 minutes. So that's what I'm doing. And then I just pop out to where I died and I keep going. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. How much of this I'm gonna put out on YouTube, I have no idea. But I thought I would fill you in on what's been going on and some of the things that I do when I'm out here. And these mobs are, I mean, they're not terribly hard to kill for me. Um, but I probably should share my skills because if you're a teeny tiny newbie, you got no business being out here. You're gonna go broke in 3 mobs. Um, but then again, I see some pretty high level players out here too, and I'm just like, what are you doing? There were some people out here in adjusted pixie. I was like giving mad props, man. I'm like, I do not have the balls to wear. See, the fungoids are the ones that get me. Hold on, I got a fap. So yeah, I mean, the psychotic fungoid young. But yeah, I gotta give mad props to these people who are out here in the lower level armor because then their skills are really high and they usually do pretty well. And it also, or like that guy, he's naked. He had no armor on whatsoever. That's pretty awesome. I mean, of course he's gonna die, but no decay. So anything he does out here would be profit other than his fapping. That's fantastic. I want skills like that someday. Oh, there, I think he put on armor. Maybe he decided it was worth the armor. Oh, Nick. I don't know. Let's look. What has he got going on? I'm nosy. I can be that way. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, see, he's not that, unless he sold off his skills. He's not that high in skills, but how to tell? Oh, this is how you tell. Strength 27, stamina 1, agility 60, but he's a weak. I mean, okay, so if we'd compare that to um, my stuff, actually, let me pull up the right thingy. My agility is 70, and I've never chipped out. Okay, so agility, I'm higher than him. But if we go to attributes, here we go. Agility, health, 164. Intelligence, I have a 62 over his 40. Psyche 42 over 29. Stamina 2 over 1. Strength 54 over 27. But I'm guessing he might have chipped out at some point. I mean, look what he's wearing. He's wearing, what's he wearing? He's wearing Marshall stuff, which no acid protection. That's going to be a problem out here. Those fungoids are all acid all the time. I mean, okay, so now it's called the Land of Oz. That's a recent change. And all that was going through my head yesterday as I was out here doing this event was the Wizard of Oz, the lion, when they're by the Emerald City. I think, or he's on his way. Oh God, I think my daughter's puking. Anyway, he's like, if I was the king of the forest. And all I could think was, if I was the king of the fungoids. Like, that kind of stuff was going through my head. But anyway, so he's wearing Marshall and he's got it open 2 slots. And the thing about limited armor, and I do this, and there's some I don't know. There's some people who feel they don't, it's not worth it. But what I do is I use the durability enhancers. I mean, they're kind of an investment. Even if you can craft them yourself, it's great. But what I do then is I put them on my armor. Oh gosh, look at, I got a slot open. Here I am preaching. Split one, two. I put at least two in a slot, right? Throw it on there because then my limited armor will last a lot longer. And I'm not even kidding. I mean, it really does make a difference. So, what I'm wearing for disco is I've got my acid protection, I've got the burn, the cold, which don't really matter out here. Cut kind of matters because, Atrax have teeth. The electric doesn't matter. The impact, that's helpful also for the mobs that are out here. Penetration, I think, is helpful. Stab is a little bit helpful. And then their durability, right? The durability is bumped up. The acid, I augment. I was using 5D plates, and I still was like, I'm getting my ass kicked by these fungoids. So then I was shopping in Twin Peaks Mall, because that's where I have my shop, and I was looking at some of the other shops, and I'm like, oh, what are these? Serpent scales, and they have 9 acid, which was significantly better than the 5Ds I was wearing. So I decided to give them a whirl, and they have some other, and they're unlimited, so as they decay, they protect less, but for the most part, they last pretty good during this event. So that's what I do to kind of offset my limited armor is I use these durability enhancers. Some people will use the defense enhancers. I bought them by accident one night, a really long time ago when I was drinking. I bought them instead of the durability because I was drunk. So I have to sell them. I don't use the defense enhancer, even though that'll bump the armor's defense then. But either way, if you're running around with an investment like Marshall, don't you think you want it to last longer or work a little better? I mean, these things are not that expensive, not like they used to be, these enhancers. I think they're a good investment. I use them on my weapons as well. And so if we take a look at this, like my gun, I have them on here. And honestly, I have gotten 2 guns to level 10 doing these events because I use these enhancers. That never happened to me before in my entire life. And I have 2 that are level 10. I kept them in my storage because I'm like posterity and all that jazz. Mm, all that jazz. I was informed that when I say all that jazz, it it makes me sound like an old person. Guess what, kids? I am old. I mean, middle aged anyway. Who cares? I like all that jazz. It reminds me of a cabaret, and everybody loves a cabaret. All right, where was I? I'm using up this gun. I'm killing things. The fungoids are all good. Look at, there's 5 fungoids sitting here. I am gonna end up dead. It's okay. Dun, 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 dun. Yep, there goes my health because of the fungoids. They're nasty. I gotta kill them. And sometimes, Sometimes the armor holds up great for the fungoids, and sometimes they just hit me super hard, and I don't understand it, but that's what happens. So I'm just gonna get rid of. Oh, I'm gonna get rid of. No, it did it to me again. I was just flipping to my FAP, the Furious Fungoid Young. If I was the king of the fungoids. Oh God, I shouldn't sing when it's this early in the morning. I shouldn't sing anyway, but just saying. Some people think I do good at karaoke. I can only sing like two songs. One of them is White Rabbit. That's one of my favorite songs anyway. And the fact that I can sing it and nail it is pretty cool. We'll try this one more time. And then I'll probably stop my recording because it's probably filling up my computer storage. No, not really. I had to rebuild my hard drive a while back, and I have nothing on here now except for Entropia. And when I record videos after I throw them up on YouTube, then I delete the files. So I've been doing pretty good on my cleanup. Oh, there's a Neconu here too. No shit. That's why. That's why I'm getting my ass kicked. And I really do miss. I miss next target. Oh, there's two Necanos out here. That's great. I miss my next target button. Not gonna lie. I don't know why they took that from us. Other than I mean, I guess I could see the bot. You could conceivably be bot hunting then, even though I would think it would be incredibly hard and not really worth the effort to try and write a bot that would monitor your health and hunt and hit I mean, I just missed the next target button. That's all I'm really saying. Because I mean, I'm out here hunting. I have it on auto anyway. And now I gotta find another mob to actually click on instead of just pressing a button. What's the difference if I click a mouse or press a button? I don't know. I mean, well, right. Next target could have been botted. But, come on. Oh, shit. Neconu Young. See? That's where. Could you imagine a low level player out here with like a little pew pew gun? I mean, mine I think are little pew pew guns, and they're doing like an average of 50 to 60 damage is my average. I can't imagine coming out here and having or being too young a player and in too high armor, buying guns you can't use. I mean, I have a gun. I have a gun right now. Look at this. I will show you. Um, if I try to use it, it will tell me you don't have the necessary skill to use this effectively. And it's true. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I took my skill boost pill because I need to get my BLP up so I can use this gun that I got. So I got it real cheap. So I'm using an ISIS Project 04, but the gun that oh, and I have my BP30. Oh, I could use that too. But anyway, I was planning on using this 45 and I am a 44.8 and a 50. So I'm I mean, I should be able to, could use it, but it gives me that warning that, dude, you're not eco on this gun. So why are you using it? It's a good point. So I will teleport out once again. See, this has been my life today. The mod merp, there's a level 38 mod merp out here where if it just breathes on me, I die. I mean, it can just like look at me and I'm dead. It has found me 3 times this morning. 3 times, 3 different marks on the map before I started recording. So that was another reason why I was recording. And it has not found me since. Isn't that great how that works? It's really super. Okay, where is that Neconu? Neconu! Oh, more fungoids. I can't wait. There it is. Kill, kill, kill! Kill! Okay, now I gotta get rid of these fungoids. And that's the other thing. Okay, so you're out here And you have to understand what's going to do the most damage to you so that you kill it first. Oh god, they're just kicking my ass. And the so fungoids really are first on the list, but they're lower health than a Neconu, and Neconus can hit pretty hard. So I will kill the Neconus and the fungoids first, and then I do the merps. Look at, there's another fungoid hiding. And it's unreachable. That's good. It means it can't hit me. So I will just leave it for now, and I will not kill things on that side of the pile. Oh, another unreachable. And I'll work my way around. But anyway, so I will try to do the mobs that do the most damage first, and then I will go around to the ones that do the least amount of damage. So I just try to get them out of the way. But overall, I mean, considering how many mobs are out here hitting me or trying to hit me and stuff, my armor holds up pretty well out here. I mean, it's just the acid and the occasional Necanu that just kicks my ass. Otherwise, I mean, if it was just the merps and the 8 tracks, I could probably sit out here all day and not have to fap. Unless a mod merp found me, but it, this disco with these plates, with these serpent scales, they really hold up well. For the investment. I mean, I think I paid, oh god, I know I paid more than I should have, but I think I paid like 75 ped for each serpent scale. I'd have to look. I don't usually, I mean, those kind of impulse buys, I just kind of like, oh well, look the other way. I'll make the money back somehow in my shop, right? Um, but considering it was kind of a splurge buy, oh, another Necanu, God help me. Um, Considering it was a splurge buy, I think it was well worth. I think they're well worth the money, for me. Um, you know, of course, you have to consider your armor setup and what you're doing with it and where you're gonna be. I mean, if I was using disco to hunt something that did not have acid, I would probably go back to my 5Bs or my 5Ds. I mean, I flip out my plates because it's important. You can't just, it's not a one size fit all here. The mobs are really different. And if you need to know what kind of damage a mob does, oh, look at that, my gun finally broke. But if you need to know what kind of damage a mob does, then you should probably look it up on Entropia Wiki or whatever. Entropedia. There's a number of resources out there that you can look at to determine how you need to dress for the hunting ball. So anyway, now I flipped back to my laser weapon because I broke the wrapper snapper that was on my BLP gun. So that's okay. And the other thing about the unreachable is until it hits you, it stays unreachable. So it has to actually damage you before you can damage it. Fortunately for fungoids, it doesn't take much and they can hit you because they exude acid gas that touches you from far away, like this guy is doing. So that, like, I left that merp, I'm just like, I don't even care about you right now. I gotta, and then it flipped to unreachable. Oh, and here comes another Neconu. I might have to split this into multiple videos because I don't know how uploading this is gonna work. But yeah, I'm in trouble. That's okay. Oh, and I'm gonna fap. Yeah, see, okay, so there we go. I still don't have the skill to handle efficiently. So you better do something different, chickie, because I hit the wrong button. I hit the gun that I have hotkeyed that really can't be used yet. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. Maybe I'll just shut up and we'll watch. Oh my gosh. Okay, I said I was going to shut up and we'll watch. But I'm super excited. I'm up over 500 subscribers now on YouTube. Yay, you! Have you added me as friend in game yet? I mean, you can. If you're a subscriber on my channel and you want to add me as a friend, you can. I don't mind. I like friends. I mean, it's nicer if you're a sugar daddy friend. That's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to end up doing a video where it's like, yay, 500 subscribers. Who's going to be my sugar daddy and give me ped to play with? Because even though I own a shop, and actually I own two. Okay, even though I own a couple shops or whatever, it's like these hunting events, they aren't free for me. I mean, I'm down. I had like 6,000 pet on my card when I started these events like 2 months ago. It's slowly whittling away at my pet card. So I need a sugar daddy to fund my play, and let me, I don't know, sit on his lap at Christmas or something. I don't know. I'm not saying I would do that, but I just want someone to be like, I'm rich. Here, have ped. Go and hunt and have fun. It's kind of what I'm looking for. Oh, here's the Neconu. Let's kill that. Oof. Just getting really hit hard today. And, like a bunch of my buffs wore off, right? So I should probably like try to get some buffs. And that's another problem here is that you can't eat a buff when you're busy healing or shooting a gun or whatever. You can't do it. So, okay. You gotta kind of time when you're gonna consume your buffs around your healing and your trigger pulling and stuff. And my skill is gone. Consume. And we might as well convert to ammo while I'm sitting here. 2.81 worth of ammo. And then I've got my Cali Trek, which is also a BLP. And that's a pretty super efficient gun that I think I could have sold during an event. Like, I don't know if it would have been during the migration would have been better or during a mayhem, but I think during the migration it's better. But these guns, let's look at that while we're out here. Because, I mean, they do a pretty good job. I'm doing, 40 to 81 every time I pull the trigger, which is 51 times a minute. And it's really good for a rifle. It's got good range. But the TT on it is not even a full ped, but it's just a super efficient gun. So, yeah, anyway. And you have to be a level 25 to use this particular one, so it doesn't even require that high of a skill. But, yeah, I'm out here, I'm having fun. I got my scope and my bullseye and my beast on here, and, yeah, it's doing good. And I'm still in 6th place. How many mobs have I killed since we've been talking? It's just the loot has not been good out here lately. I don't know if someone's coming out here during non-event hours and just, bleeding the place dry. I don't know. I almost think so. Because, I mean, there was one day that I was hitting and it was like every 10th mob I had global. I mean, I got 7 or 8 globals in an hour out here. And I won the event, no kidding. I mean, surprise. But, I mean, it was just, I pulled the trigger and zing, swirly. Couple of mobs later, zing, swirly. And I was like, this is fantastic. Hasn't happened since. Not like that anyway. I've gotten a swirly here, a swirly there. Otherwise, I've just been, the few times I've been win, place, or show out here has been on silent globals, which you don't get the swirly, you just get a relatively high loot for a mob. So, it'd be like 50 pet like on a, or 47 pet or something, and on an Atrox, which wouldn't result in a swirly, and I'd end up with second place. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty bad. Because, there's a lot of people out here hunting for these events normally. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, today, who's all signed up? 3 pages of people have signed up for it. Whether or not they're all out here, I don't know. I mean, some of them come out here, they try a few. If they don't get decent loot in the first couple, they are like, screw this, I'm out of here. But if you don't register, you're locked out of the land area too, if you want to try it. So, okay, this I think is a good place to stop. But anyway, there I am, under the moonlight. See you later. It was been real fun. Oh, now I gotta kill something else. It'll be fine. Bye.